Okay, we're here at the Cobra 49's big 9mm pistol shootout. And what I do is I have some different handguns here. They're all kind of classic guns historically. The Beretta 92 FS, a Italian clone of the CZ 75, and a Beretta 1951 that was used by, I guess, the Italian Highway Police or something that I recently picked up. All classic guns, military, law enforcement. I was just screwing around. I made videos out there on my channel, overviews of them. And I just took them out to see what I could do with 3 different types of ammo. And I'll go over that, and the targets. And I was just curious how these guns perform. Now, I'm a collector, and I reload, and I shoot casually. You know, I like to study firearms and shoot them. I'm not a competitor. I don't run a gun shop. I'm not a firearms instructor, okay? I'm just a guy that likes to shoot guns. And so my results, in my opinion, basically are me. And what I'm used to and what I do and the physical size of my hand and strength and that, and my skills and abilities. So, you know, if one gun is your favorite and doesn't look well in this kind of weird-ass review and that, you know, don't get upset. I'm not here to knock anybody. All of these guns are good quality. All of these guns are serviceable and usable. But some of them just work better for me than others. And it's a matter of personal choice. Kind of much like the Glock. The Glock pistol and the whole series of them, when they came out in the late 80s, it used polymer frame, which was a manufacturing innovation at the time and got a lot of publicity. The Glock is just a simple, basic gun. It's simple to operate, use, and train people, okay? It's reliable and it works, okay? It's accurate and everything else. I and some other people I know just do not prefer that gun. I know people love them, customize and do, and there's nothing wrong with them. Okay, I've owned them, I've fired them, I've shot them and, you know, had good accuracy with them. I just personally kind of don't like them. Okay, nothing against the pistol. I know there's millions of them out there and people love them to death, but it's just something that don't do it for me. So if you like these commentaries and these videos and the content of my channel and you're some new person just found it, please subscribe. And you know, if you like to keep the content interesting in that or whatever, and if you could see your way, I had a campaign where I'm trying to get all of my subscribers to donate $1 a month through Patreon. It's $12 a year to help me offset the cost of doing all this. Because you know the ammunition's not free, and even pulling a video off like this costs a few bucks. Alright, so now let's take a look at what we got in the results. Okay, first up is the Beretta 92 FS. This is the civilian version of the pistol adopted by the U.S. military. How much of a difference there is between this gun and what they issue to you in the service, I'm not quite sure. Some people say the springs and tolerances are different, but it's still a nice gun. And has been in the U.S. service. I believe they're going to replace it from like 1985 to they're looking for a replacement now. Then I have this old Springfield P9, which is an Italian-made clone of a Czech CZ75. Back in the 90s, for the end of the Cold War, this was the only way you can get a type of gun like this in here, a version of the CZ75. Czech models were really tough to find. So, interesting gun. I had it a long time. And then just for the hell of it, since I was out shooting 9mm, I got our Beretta 1951, which I guess was a police gun used by the police in Italy. and that is a recent import here in the surplus market. Now, just for the hell of it, I used 3 different types of ammunition. I used the Remington 115 grain bullet, which is kind of a standard 9mm Luger load. I used the Winchester 9mm NATO, which I guess is just like what the military issues in 124 grains. And because I always thought the Beretta was adopted and the military was going to use a 147 grain bullet, I got some Blazer ammo with a 147 grain kind of truncated cone bullet to use. And these are the results. The Beretta 92 FS with 115 grain, not too good. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or so in the bullseye out of the 15. Now when I went to the NATO ammo, the results were a little bit better, but not too spectacular. There. 147 grain ammo seemed to fare well. The group tightened up. The gun liked that bullet better. I was able to keep it, closer to the bull and more in the 9 and 10 ring than with the other 2. Now with the P9s, Springfield Armory P9, as usual, this gun did exceptionally well. Big jagged hole with 115 grain, that's the Remington ammo. Really good. Only had one of them out of the black in the 7. But then when you switch over, there's always that jolt. You get 1 or 2 that drifted out into the 8 ring because it is a different bullet weight and a little bit more punch. But with the NATO load, 124 grain NATO load, it did exceptionally well there. And then we went to the 147 grain. Now, 2 of them, me getting used to that too, there was I think I limp wristed one and got that one way up there, the first one. And also, this is when I had the only malfunction on all these pistols. I had a stovepipe with a full mag. The first one didn't quite eject. I could have limp wristed it and done it. But then once I recovered and, had 1 or 2 other drift out, I got them all in the black, which is pretty impressive. So now I said, you know what? I got that old 1951. And yeah, it's got that weird mag release and only 8-round magazine. It's not a Wonder 9 is what these guns were called. The ones with 15 and 18-round magazines, polymer, and that Wonder 9s. It's just an old school gun, okay? These 2, just to mention, this here has a decocker. The 92 FS has all the bells and whistles, ambidextrous, safety, decocker, single double action. This pistol does not have a decocker. It's single double action, much like an older gun, but just a double action pistol. This gun is just a single action. Has a big cross bolt safety and a weird button to drop the mag, and is the version of the Beretta pistol before they made the 92. So it has the same locking system in that, and basically you can see the similarities. Hold on here. Looking at them side by side, you can see where this pistol evolved into this. And this is a much larger gun. The frame, the size of it, it feel in your hands. Where this one here, to me, the single stack, smaller gun, I kind of like it. It fits better in my hand. I can get more control over it. Where this Beretta 92 is pretty large, bulky, but good quality, works. Alright, so the old timer with 115 grain bullet. Not so hot. But we got some in there, The trigger is kind of rough on this. It's simple and kind of gritty, but that's all you got. when we went to the 124, which I was a little nervous, they say the NATO round is more of a plus P, but I don't really think so. It does shoot better. It likes the heavier bullet. And that's one thing I've noticed about the Berettas. And then when we got to the 147 grain, even though we have some wild flyers, I was able to keep it in there and pretty much hammer the stuff out of it. Of course, towards the end, I was getting tired and that. So a lot of this could be just me. The gun does shoot that heavier bullet a lot more accurate and likes it a lot more. So that would be the winner with that. So basically, we'll sit down and talk about just my feelings and overview on what the winner is on this.